Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brian. This is Brian on an Island, where we talk tech and gaming. Today I am going to be building my girlfriend a very low-end media and editing PC. Now this is going to be a very affordable build that does not break the bank and will allow her to edit her YouTube videos with using Adobe Premiere Pro or Final Cut, whatever she's using at the moment to edit videos. And this will also allow her to play video games, whether it be older titles at medium to high settings and maybe newer titles at lower settings. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into the video. Alright guys, as I said, today we're going to be building a very budget, low-end gaming PC. Now we're just going to switch over to the parts that I have behind me and we're going to talk about those a little bit, and I'll tell you guys how I got these parts and what makes this such a great budget build, alright? Now, first of all, if we just start off, this is a 560 Ti. Now, I'm going to tell you guys how I came across this 560 Ti in a bit, but before we get over here, let's talk about the rest of the system and everything else that we're going to put in this. So this is going to be the graphics card. This graphics card came out about 8 years ago, and at the time when it came out, it was around $250 US, around 200 or 210 pounds. But now in 2019, it can do too much, but it might be just enough for what we need it to do. This is the RAM that we're gonna put in. We have 2 sticks of 4 gigabytes of Corsair Vengeance. Now this is clocked at 1600 megahertz originally, but we're gonna try to overclock this a little bit more to around 2000 or 2200 megahertz, which is still a bit on the slow side, but should give us enough speed for her to do what she wants to do. Now, this is a cooler that I got off of AliExpress. Now, this was sent to me from a merchant free of charge. Actually, they just wanted me to look at it and do a review. I've had this here for a while, and there was a fan that came on the back side, but unfortunately that fan is no longer with us. I'm not sure if I plugged that in wrong or incorrect, but that one blew. But if there is a name on it, it just says Nucor. I'm not sure if you guys can see that. Yeah, it just says Nucor on there, but it has some really nice RGB settings and it'll give a lot of flair to the system. This is a 300 megabyte per second PCI Wi-Fi. This is a 300 megabyte per second PCI wireless adapter, and this is because my girlfriend has no idea what a LAN cable is, and she doesn't know the difference between Wi-Fi speeds and connected speeds, but that is an argument for a whole different day. This is a USB 3 PCI connector. Now, the reason I am putting one of these in is because the motherboard that we're using does not have USB 3 connection, but this would accommodate for that, and she'll be able to use this to get pictures and videos from the camera and get them onto the system as quick as possible. And this is a must for any system that you're building in 2019. This is 60 gigabytes of SSD. This will just hold about, I think, her operating system, a few games that she likes to play, and maybe a few important programs that she would like to run as quick as possible. Most likely, I think it'll be Adobe Premiere Pro and Photoshop. Those are what she uses mainly, and those are what I think she would like to have on the SSD. Moving over to the power supply, this is a AeroCool Integrator, a 600 watt power supply. Now, this power supply is a professional power supply. As you guys can see here, this is the 80 plus bronze model, 230 volts EU, and it comes with a few different type of connections, as you can see here. And this actually came at a steal originally. This was on the Facebook market for about 40 pounds, but the guy let me have it for 20 to 25. And when I got there, he didn't even ask me for the 25. He was like, I could just pop him a 20 and it'll be solid. And as you guys can see, the power supply is very nice. It's threaded for the most part, which will give some nice aesthetics to it. And I think the least thing that I like about this build the most, unfortunately, is the case. Now this case is a very old case, as you guys can see. It's banged up and it's a bit dirty in the back there. I'm gonna give this a bit of a cleaning before I start doing the video, but the reason we're using this case is because I couldn't find a case that would keep the budget build as low as possible, and this is what we ended up with. There is a fan as well on the inside that you guys can see that will give a lot of airflow into the system from the front, and what I'm planning to do is have this open-sided for a while, and I will install some RGB fans that I have. Those won't be included in the cost because those are an option and you don't necessarily need to have these installed. So now let's talk about pricing this and how we got all of these pieces. So starting off with the 560 Ti, this was included with the case, and I got this for about 20 pounds. Now, I think the reason being is because this guy let go of this 560 Ti because it's a very old card, and it's just about 448 cores, so it's not anything too awesome. I'm surprised the original fans are working. Maybe later on in the future, I might open this up and probably give the heatsink a good cleaning. I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there's a whole lot of dust on the inside. This came with the case at a steal, so we had to get it. Now, this is about the biggest deal that we're ever gonna find on the internet. We found an FX 8370E processor, which is under this heatsink, which I'm going to remove so you guys can see that and clean it up. The RAM came with this. What else came with this? We also got the processor, the motherboard, and the Wi-Fi card, and all of this was about 70 pounds, so that was a great steal. This, the USB 3.0, we got off Amazon for around $9.99. I'll leave a link to that in the description. As I said, the cooler is free of charge, but that's not being kept in the cost because you could have used the stock cooler. You would still get the same performance and airflow. And the SSD we picked up from CEX for about 15 pounds. So all in all, this budget build is around 145 pounds. I'll do the maths at the end of the video, but anywho guys, we're gonna go ahead, clean the case, and we're gonna start putting this together, and I can't wait for you guys to see what this looks like. Now, the RGB fans that I'm gonna put in here, they are from AliExpress as well. They are similar to the fans that I have in my system right now that you guys can see, and they're gonna have some nice features. For example, they're gonna be connected to a RGB controller, so hopefully she'll be able to have access to all of these cool lighting features and these different options here that you can see as I'm pressing on the remote and the colors changing. So I think she's really gonna like that. Her reaction is gonna be a bit amazing. We're not gonna overclock this too much, but just enough for her to do some gaming, some editing, and most importantly some uni work, because I know her laptop isn't giving her a chance to do that right now. So let's go ahead and start putting these together. Alright guys, we're just gonna go ahead and take this off so you guys can see the CPU that's under here. Let me just disconnect this here. No, I shouldn't pull it from those wires. Might be a bit hard to do with one hand. Yeah, now you guys can see how dusty this is. And I know this wasn't in use for a long time. Look at this, like, you spin the fan and you can see pieces of whatever that is in there. Like, I don't even think whoever had this motherboard and CPU had it in the case, so that's why it was so dusty. Surprisingly enough, the connectors for the motherboard are similar to our to this that we have here. So it's an AMD CPU cooler, and it didn't come in with any it didn't come with brackets for anything else for Intel processor brackets. So ooh, look at that. There wasn't even any thermal paste on the center here. That wasn't cooling anything properly. But this is our FX 8370E. Now it's an AM3 socket. but it's looking pretty. It's looking like it's in good condition, except for a bit of smudge on it. But I'm gonna get something with some alcohol, dip it, and see if I can clean this up. But yeah, we're just gonna go ahead, clean that up, and continue putting the system together. The motherboard is a bit dusty itself. I didn't mention the motherboard before, but this is an Asus M58. This is an Asus M5A78L MLX. Whew! That was the longest motherboard name I've ever said in my entire life. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and try and continue putting this together, guys. So as you guys can see now, this is all clean and ready to have the cooler installed. We're just gonna put a dab of thermal paste on here that I have readily available, and we're gonna put that on there, put this on there, and then we'll start putting in the RAM, the graphics card, we'll put in the USB ports, the PCI slot, and the SATA. We'll install this out of the case. We'll do a test bench with this monitor, make sure that it turns on and we can install Windows, and then we'll go ahead, install Windows, and then we'll put everything in the case, connect the lights, and see what this looks like in the end. Alright guys, we've tested the system. As you guys can see here, there's some RGB going on, so it's looking okay. I just installed some of the graphics drivers, so we got some 1080p going on the desktop there. Now all we're gonna do is we're gonna pop this into the case, put in the LED fans, and I think after that we should be all set for the system. And I don't think there's much that we have to do. We're gonna install Microsoft Word, Adobe Premiere Pro, and we might benchmark some games on it. But all in all, I can't wait till you guys see the final product. If it turns out how I think it's gonna turn out, this system is gonna look amazing for a budget build. The next time I'll see you guys, this thing will be fully put together and you guys can leave your final thoughts. So let's get into this and drop it into the case now. All right, so as you guys can see, we've put everything inside. We have our cooler, graphics card, our USB 3.0, our Wi-Fi card is in the back there here, and now we're gonna decorate this with some RGB fans here. We're gonna pop one RGB fan to the back here, and maybe if we can fit another fan on the cooler, I think that would be a plus. I don't know, maybe that would be overkill, but let's just see how it looks, and let's take the fans out. These are the fans that I'm gonna be putting in. They're gonna be aligned this way and they'll be connected, as you guys can see, going down. They're not circular like the ones I have in my system, but I mean, it's what I have, so I'll see if I can make it work. So I'll see if I can make it work. So let's just go ahead and do that, guys. All right, so these are what the fans are gonna look like. I've installed 3 here, and I'm gonna have one exhaust fan to the back here that'll be here. But this is the fan controller. I'm gonna stick it somewhere under here so it's nice and hidden. But before I go ahead and install all of the buttons for the case, the power button, the reset button, and the USB button, and go back and put in this acrylic fan that was originally to the front there, what I want to do is test this and make sure that the fans are actually responding, because I don't want to put everything together and then I realize that something's wrong. So we're going to go ahead, do a short here, and see if the fans are... Ooh, look at that. That is looking RGB and very, very, very cool. I think she's going to be very happy with this, and the performance that she'll be able to get out of the system as well will be awesome. The thing is, when I show it to her, she's not going to think it's all that because it'll be covered, and it's kind of like a sleeper build. When I do take the case off, she's going to be like, oh my god, that's freaking awesome. So what I am planning to do is install some standoffs here and to the back there, and have a glass panel to the front, so she'll be able to use this and see all the cool stuff that's going on inside while she's doing work or gaming or whatever. So I think she'll be really happy with that. So we're gonna go ahead and finish putting everything together. We're gonna install the SATA cables so we don't get this weird boot menu, and this system should be completely done by then. Okay guys, so all in all, this is what the system turned out to look like, and I am actually really proud of this. It looks very, very nice. I mean, the fans to the front and the RGB lighting inside keep the system really, really cool. The airflow is actually phenomenal. I turned this on and we had the CPU at temperatures at about 16, 17 degrees, so that's really, really cool, and I haven't tested any games on it yet, but I know it's going to play those perfectly fine. As you guys can see, I got a bit late trying to put this thing together. I am going to press the on button and hopefully everything will be how we want it to be, guys. So let's just flip this to on, and I think all we have to do now, wow, that is actually one beautiful looking gaming PC for a budget of less than 150 pounds, guys. This one really hit the mark, and I will just let you guys see it before I leave, and I'll see you guys the next time I upload, where I'm actually gonna give this to her. So she has no idea what it looks like yet, but tomorrow or maybe the day after when I see her, I'll let you guys see her full reaction, and hopefully she loves it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you're new to my channel, make sure you drop a like and a subscribe, and I will see you guys the next time I upload. My name is Brian, and I am out.